Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back. Today we are doing Q&A. We haven't done enough of these at all.
And they're so much fun. I love them because I feel like we get to have a really nice relationship and connect to you, and that matters to me.
Yeah, and you and I haven't done these by ourselves one time,
Ever?
like once. We did it once.
We're focusing more on doing episodes just the two of us. We love having guests, but I know that you guys also like hearing just us sometimes.
You gotta get to know Alexa more, you know?
I just assume that if anyone finds me on the internet, they've like watched me from the YouTube days, and I realize that's not the case here.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna just dive right into it because there's so many. Are you ready? I'm gonna read them all to you. We'll give our advice.
Also, if you're wondering, why does Chloe read all the questions? Alexa is extremely dyslexic. Reading out loud is really hard for her. So Chloe is always going to read the questions out loud, and I'll give my feedback. But I can already like read the comments of like, Chloe's talking more, and I'm like, she should.
I think my boyfriend of a year and 2 months has a porn addiction/addiction to looking at girls. It started when I saw an OnlyFans link in his Instagram link history, but he said he was just, quote, curious about her making one. I let that go, but then we were doing long distance for a while, and when he came back, I found that he had been looking at random TikTok girls and stalking them on Instagram. I let that go. I recently saw crazy porn and OnlyFans girls on his Reddit after he told me looking at stuff on Reddit is weird. Okay. Interesting lie. We broke up and got back together. And then, I saw handprints on the back of his car. He said it had to have been his brother. I took him back, but I definitely know he cheated. Some more context is that he has been lying to everyone in his life about why we broke up 3 different times now, and he makes them think I'm crazy. For context, I am 19. Okay, the canon
I
of
was about
event
to
relationships
say,
that happen at 19.
Yeah.
And this is not the beginning of this behavior from him. I know that I can find better, but I need motivation from you guys.
Okay, girl, this is the motivation you need right now. We have both went through the trenches at 19 years old.
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
It's a rite of passage.
Totally. And a couple things I want to say. My biggest issue is the lying here. He has lied about everything. He is lying to you. It's beyond the porn addiction. He's a compulsive liar. Number one reason why we're done here. Second, before I even go further, I want to say, don't let yourself like hate men from this. Don't let yourself like get hurt in this situation because this is painful and this is probably like the first longer term relationship you've been in. Don't let this be an example for whatever your other relationship is going to be. Like really take your time and heal, but you need to leave this man. This is not good for you.
He's
are
a boy still.
He's a boy. And also you're like 19 years old and wonderful and emotionally intelligent and going to people for help and like leave.
The thing too that I've learned about definitely boys and some men is that, and women, like people are selfish. Okay, especially at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are selfish. Most of them do not care about doing the right thing for their relationship or their girlfriend or growing it. They think with their dick. Okay, and that's just the reality of it. And you should be thinking about yourself. Like if I could go back in time and not date the guy that I dated at 19, I would do that in a heartbeat. I learned a lot from it, so like no regrets.
No regrets.
I'm just tattooed across my head, no regrets. But
It's on the chest. No regrets.
But the amount of time that I wasted, like listening to Lana Del Rey's sobbing on my floor over a guy who I dated for years too, but like I don't remember his middle name. I could give a shit about that man. I think that we have to pick ourselves up off the floor sometimes and say, you know what? I deserve more than the poor circumstances that I've been given here. And that's enough for me to walk away. The lying is not okay.
No.
The cheating is not okay. The porn addiction is gross. Also, maybe ask yourself, am I at 19, like I think you're not obsessed with him. You're obsessed with the idea of love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. You're obsessed with being in love and being in a relationship and being happy together, but maybe not this guy in particular, because logically, it sounds like you know that he's not good for you and that you deserve better. But your heart is not wanting to let him go, and it's not him. It's just the idea of being in a relationship.
And it's who you feel like you can be in a relationship. I don't know.
Yeah.
I even look back to my relationship when I was 19 and like I was dating a really, really, really nice person. But that was also a fluke. Like you don't know who you're getting at 19. You don't know, like you really don't know what you're getting in your first relationship. You're like, I pray this person won't traumatize me. And he's a wonderful human being. But I even realized in that relationship, I think we both loved the idea of being in a relationship. I think we both loved the story we were both telling. So we're both storytellers. But also I think we just like loved the idea we were both like also public on the internet. I know we both really cared about each other, but I know we stuck in it a lot longer than we should have because we had like built it up to be this thing. And I'd wake up in the morning and be like, this isn't what it actually is, though.
Yeah.
This
yeah,
isn't.
it's just the concept.
Totally. And I don't ever want to like talk down to somebody that's younger or whatever, but it is something that I wish I could tell my 19-year-old self. And that's who I'm talking to right now. I'm not even talking to this girl, but it's like at 19, that's what I would have wanted to know is like choose yourself more. And I remember I had a friend, I was going through something when I was like 20 years old and he was older than me and like big brother figure. But he told me, he's like, I don't even think you should be seriously dating for like a real, like a deep relationship or marriage until you're 25.
I agree.
And I agree with that.
And people told me that when I was 19 and 20. And I'm a serial monogamist and I always disregarded that. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But like, this is real and he's different.
Yeah.
And if I could go back in time, I wouldn't. Like you're about to enter your 20s. Your 20s, especially your early 20s, are such an incredible journey of like learning who you are and what you want and what you need. And that gets really muddled down when you're intertwining yourself with somebody in a relationship that is toxic, that isn't treating you right. You lose your self-worth. And it really is so pivotal, those choices that you're making in your early 20s. And like a lot of people will disagree with that and be like, oh, it's your early 20s, like fuck around, have fun, whatever. But I made choices that I'm now realizing I just turned 29, like still affect me to this day emotionally because I disintegrated my self-worth by staying in things that were not good for me for too long because I didn't have the courage to walk away. And then that affected my choices when I was 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 years old. So if you can get, it's like a habit. It's like drinking enough water or putting your phone away before bed or walking away from people that don't deserve you. You have to start getting in the habit of that when your frontal lobe is forming if you can.
And maybe it's the avoidant in me, or maybe it was the fact that I got really lucky and had a great therapist that kind of taught me what relationships looked like and guided me through when to leave, when to stay, how to whatever. But like I am grateful that in my early 20s especially, when I knew something didn't feel right, I walked away. Like I made so many more mistakes probably than most people did in their early 20s. But the one thing I'm always really happy that I did, I've always just preferred being single over being in a relationship. I am very happy that, especially in my early 20s, if even one thing felt wrong or even one thing felt bizarre, like I knew I was like, if this guy's already being weird, I'm probably not going to marry the guy I'm with at 21 years old. Even when I was dating, I never looked at it for like the end goal. I was like, oh, this is someone that's cool that I want to get to know more. And I'm grateful that I looked at dating that way versus like, this is my husband. But now at 30, you know, now I'm like convinced that everyone's my husband and I need to stop doing that.
There's a lot of power in walking away.
For sure.
But I was the opposite as you. I like everybody, I was trying to fit into the mold of this is my husband and this is my person. And it's so silly to me because looking back on it, it's like trying to find a husband when you're 16. You're so young and you don't realize how young you are until you're in your late 20s and you have a little bit more perspective. Like something just clicks and you're like, damn it. I wasted these like fun years where I could have been getting to know other people for fun and myself for fun on trying to make a guy who's still a kid too fit into this box of like, we're gonna get engaged and married by 26 and then this is gonna like, it's just,
that's not the world we live in anymore. And also,
and thank God,
I feel like I didn't really take dating really seriously until I was probably like 25, and then the guy I was dating was like, when are we gonna get married? And I was like, what? I don't want to marry you.
I'm a child bride.
I'm a child bride. But also, that's when I started taking it very seriously. Whenever I dated anybody, they had to be like, oh, I'm dating this person to marry them. 26 to 29, that was kind of like my mindset. And then, I don't know, one day now my perspective is like, I'm not going to date somebody without thinking like, oh, this could be something longer term. But I don't go into it with like an expectation like that anymore. I just go into it with data. And then once I have enough information, enough data, it's like, that's when I kind of decide like, oh, I want this to maybe go there.
Dating with data. Yeah.
Dating with data.
Or like Iman says, date to reject.
Date to reject.
Yeah.
I think, date to reject, especially in your early 20s.
I think just prioritize yourself because your mindset can get really warped and it can be like a real struggle to untangle once you go down that rabbit hole, you know?
So like we're both still so young, but being young is so fun. I saw Jen Atkin the other day, who's like a hero to me. I love her. She's the founder of Way and just like this incredibly successful, wonderful woman. Like the first thing she walked up to me and like grabbed my hands and she's like, don't forget to have fun. Don't forget to have so much fun, date everybody, have a good time, run around the world. And she just looked at me and she's like, you're doing everything right now, Alexa. Like just keep doing what you're doing because you're never going to have this much fun again. She's like, you're going to have fun in other ways, but like this kind of fun only exists in this time of your life. And I was like, I already kind of lived that way, but thanks for the reminder. I needed that.
Yeah. And honestly, the breakup that you go through at 19, it sounds crazy right now, but like give it 4 or 5 months, it becomes fun.
Oh, yeah. You can crash
level
out.
up. Yeah, you crash out. You go through the crash out phase.
Be crazy.
You be crazy. Then
Yeah.
you level up and you have a ton of fun in the process.
Yeah.
You're going to learn so much about yourself. Don't be afraid of it.
You'll make so many more friends too. And you meet like fun, silly party friends. It's the best. Being 19 was really fun. It was awful, but it was also really fun. We met at like 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
You got this, girl.
All right.
You can always come back to the Unbothered sisters. We're here for you.
Oh, to be 19, I wouldn't do it again. Would you?
I would do it for one day.
One
I'd
day.
be like, what was it like to be a Tumblr blueprint icon?
Tumblr bitch. Okay. This one starts off crazy. Also, I haven't read these. I'm just like learning with you right now. So
Okay, that's on period.
my dad cheated on his girlfriend with my best friend's mom.
Pass. Nope.
And we've known these people for 6 years. And me and my best friend just found out a month ago, and her mom has confessed to her, but we don't know how to approach it. And my dad's girlfriend doesn't know. And he has he has 3 children with her. And when I told my best friend that I was going to tell his girlfriend, she said I couldn't. And that the situation isn't supposed to be brought up now. And that if it's bothering me, I should talk to my therapist because now isn't the time.
What in the Colleen Hoover is going on here? It's giving. Have you read Ugly Love?
No, I haven't read Colleen Hoover.
Oh, it's like pilot smut. It's really fun.
Pilot?
It's like airplane smut.
Oh, like flight attendant pilot love?
Like, not really, but kind of.
He's not a pilot.
I know he's not, but like there's a
I mean, he
theme
could
like
be.
this in Ugly Love. I have to go from like a really like philosophical book to like smut right after. That's just how I work. But I don't know where to start with this one, if I'm being honest.
I just feel like your best friend shouldn't have told you, or her mom shouldn't have told you, whoever told you, if they didn't want you to act on it yet. Because that's not fair of an ask for you.
I just want to say, like, this is validation that you are being put through psychological warfare right now. This is traumatic. This is horrible. This is not fair to you. You have done nothing wrong.
The thing is that there's a lot involved in this web, right? Like, it's your friendship.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know, like, how close you are to the mom, but she can be like a mom to you sometimes, you know, your best friend's mom. So that whatever that's going on there. Your dad, obviously, your relationship with him, your relationship with his girlfriend that he's been with, whether or not you're close to her, and then knowing that they have 3 kids is also crazy. What would I do? I would go to my dad and I would be like, hey, I know what happened. Like, what the fuck? And talk to him about it and see what he says.
Yeah.
And go from there, like step by step.
And I also think it's your dad's number one job to protect you. Like, you are his child. He needs to make sure that you are doing okay. What he's doing is wrong, and he needs to have your back. And I think this is such a complicated situation.
Yeah, and like, how rude of the dad.
Oh, no, it's the dad has fucked up on many levels.
Beyond the cheating, but like, you know the position you're putting your daughter in if
Yeah.
she ever finds out, because it's her best friend's mom. Like,
It's awful. It's awful. And your best friend doesn't really know how to act through this because it's a weird, terrible situation. Yeah, I think not a single person has been considerate of your emotions, which isn't fair.
yeah.
And I can't imagine the amount of pain that you're going in right now, because every single person that's supposed to have your back right now is choosing themselves, not being considerate of your feelings. And I'm sure you feel incredibly alone. So if you can lean on your therapist, definitely do so. Know
Yeah.
that this isn't going to last forever, and that there are more people in your life that are going to consider your emotions. Don't let this break your heart. This is emotional and psychological warfare. This is a traumatic situation. But don't let this harden you. Don't believe the rest of the world is like this. It's going to be annoying to hear right now, but choose yourself. I would call out your dad.
Yeah, I would call it my dad. I would see a therapist, but not because your friend is saying that's your only option.
No.
Like, I would go to the therapist and be like, what's your take on this? Because they'll have more of an in-depth understanding on your personal life and all these relationships.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying substitute talking to anyone else about it with a therapist. But a therapist will help guide you on like how to maybe confront your dad or whatever it is that you're wanting to do.
But I mean, I'm just a girl, and that's my 2 cents.
Well, that's just a disclaimer on every Q&A. We're just girls.
Girls that have been through a lot, but you know,
We've just been through some shit.
we're just some girls that have been through things, which my therapist used to always tell me, like, those are the people you kind of want to actually hear from.
Of course.
Like, when you've been through it and she's like, you're actually pretty well versed in giving advice to people, probably even more than some therapists, but we can't because we're not licensed. And we're not going to ever claim to be. We're just 2 girls that have seen the trenches, have been in them, and looked the devil in the eyes and said, not for me. I'm going to keep going and choosing myself. Next question.
Also, fuck dads that cheat. My dad cheated on my mom and introduced me to the girl when I was like 4.
Nope.
So, I've been there. Except for I was 4. I didn't know what the fuck was up, but now I do.
I get nervous talking about my dad. Just know that I know. Allegedly, Dad, I know what you did.
Allegedly, Dad, I know that you introduced me to your mistress when I was 4. Allegedly.
Allegedly, Dad, I know who you were with that day and all those days. Okay, continue.
Okay. Next submission. Oh, hello from Paris. I don't know when this is dropping, but Alexa and I may very well be in Paris together. I just booked a one-way ticket. Alexa has an apartment there.
I do.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, Chloe's moving in for the month.
I have a question. I dated this guy for a short while who love bombed me and then acted really shitty. He almost ghosted me. I confronted him and he apologized. He's even in therapy now. Okay. He said he has to deal with his shit before he can even consider being in a relationship. He was in a 12-year relationship prior to this, but told me that he was unfaithful from the get-go. Okay. He also acknowledged that it was a shame because we really had something. The thing is, oh, Jesus, I also have to work with him. This is like almost as intense as the girl who ghosted the guy and then he was her boss.
This is like an episode out of Emily in Paris. Like, let's be so real.
It is. Okay, the thing is I also have to work with him and he offered me this work opportunity that I just could not refuse. I would have to work with him regularly, though not in an office. We're both writers and also work in publishing and media. He says he wants to be friends, but I can sense the spark between us still. I told him working with him was okay, but that I wasn't sure about the friendship. What do you think? How do I navigate this?
Did I date this guy in Paris? I think I dated this guy in Paris.
I'm sure there's a lot of men in Paris.
Actually, this is just like
cheating.
quintessential.
That sounds like
man.
every French man.
I was like, wait, like you started reading the story and I was like, I think I know this person. And then I think
they're all in like century-long relationships and cheaters.
I mean, that's why I kind of didn't want to stay in Paris because all the guys there were like, yeah, I don't know why she thinks she is my girlfriend. I don't know. I'm like, because you've been with her for 6.5 years.
10 years.
I don't want to stereotype all Frenchmen because there are Frenchmen that I've met that are like loyal and wonderful and fantastic, but most of them aren't. So I'm just going to spit the truth. Girl, if you don't have, okay, you're remote, so the work thing, whatever, you just have to look at his name. You don't date him.
Did she say that? She said they're not in the office. Yeah.
Yeah, you work remote. That doesn't matter. Cool. Take the job, get your bag, do your thing. Finding work as a writer is really hard. Do that. Then I would say
not date him.
Don't fucking date him. I've been in this exact situation with this guy. When someone says they need to go to therapy, they're not in a place to date you, believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Believe them.
Also, a 12-year relationship, he wasn't committing to her and was cheating on her. It's like all red flags, you know, and I'm sure there's a spark, but
spark don't mean shit.
The friendship thing I would avoid. Be friendly, be nice, like do what you need to do, but you also have to recognize that if he gave you this work opportunity, there's an inherent power imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
And once you also throw romantic feelings into the mix, which he's already made clear, like he can't give you the love or treatment that you deserve, it's going to get messy. And you don't want to shit where you eat when it comes to your work. Like,
no, and also the situation sucks because it sucks walking away from the situation that she's been in. Because when something feels real, especially with like Paris as the backdrop, it's like so hard not to fall in love with every single person you meet there because the city is unbelievably romantic. Maybe as like an American, I'm like romanticizing it and like I loved my time living there. I get what it's like to date in Paris. Like it's so hard to let go of somebody because everything is so like light. It's so whatever, but it's so romantic and passionate and all the things.
Yeah, or just a situationship in general. It feels so real. Like having a spark but not the right circumstances is one of the most frustrating human experiences.
Totally. But like first thing, like we say it all the time. Why would you ever want to be with somebody that could imagine a life without you? It doesn't matter if that person's going through something. There's even been times in my life where I've been like, I want to be with that person. I'm going through so much shit. Please be aware I'm going through so much shit. And like either bear with me or like give me a little bit of time and like I'm going to come back to you. Yeah. And you keep in touch and you tell them your progress and whatever. But like this guy sounds like he sucks. And I've dated this guy like 15 times. And I'm not going to do it again. I've dated this man so many times, and I can tell you, all it's going to lead you to is a podcast mic and spitting wisdom because you've been through it all.
She's saying, how does she navigate the whole he wants to be friends thing? I would like
be quote unquote friends and never talk to him.
Yeah, just don't really hang out. Like be a little avoidant. Don't be rude. But if he's like, let's go get, wine or whatever, I would make myself busy.
Go with a friend. Get a group of people together. Don't even do that.
I would avoid him if you could.
I would too. Or like, I don't know, if he's like being really insistent on hanging out and you have this job, whatever, I'd grab like 2 friends, go to the markets on Sunday and be like, I'm at the market, and you can like walk away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, find ways to kind of
go sit on the
diffuse it.
sun and dip. You know what I mean? That's what Paris is all about. You just kind of like maneuver.
Yeah.
You could
Avoid
spend the whole-
one-on-one.
Avoid. That's what I would say. Avoid one-on-one.
Avoid evening. Avoid alcohol. And good luck, soldier.
I'm going to write those notes and put them in my pocket and ignore them.
Flash forward to the French romance that I'll witness you have in a few months, I'm sure.
I'm going to be so pissed if I don't have so many diffmos.
Can you explain what a diffmo is?
Dude, a diffmo is awesome. A diffmo is a dance floor makeout.
Perfect.
I have a friend that's in a relationship. They're like so loyal to each other. The only exception is they're allowed to have diffmos twice a year.
2 diffmos a year.
2 diffmos a year.
Dead.
And honestly, if my boyfriend came to me and he was like, I want 2 diffmos a year, I'd be like,
You're like, so I get 2 diffmos?
so I get 2 diffmos? I don't know. That's something where I don't think I like that.
I'm not. That's a little too French
Like,
for me.
dude, I love a diffmo. Like, oh my God, I can't wait. I can feel the diffmo.
I feel it coming.
I can feel the diffmo on its way.
Go have a diffmo. Get over him.
Get
a
over
diffmo.
him. Have a
Go to
diffmo.
Silencio and have a diffmo.
Rasputin, Carmen, Candelabra, shake your ass, get your diffmo, get to the cabaret, enjoy your life.
Get a new situationship, you know?
They're
That'll help.
everywhere.
Okay.
FYI, men are literally everywhere. You can go outside
By
and
the way,
just snatch, swipe, heart. There's so many of them.
in general or in Paris?
I mean, everywhere, but especially Paris. There's so many of them all the time. They're not hard to find. So get over this man. Trust me, the guy across the street is going to be just as horrible, but he hasn't traumatized you yet. That's terrible advice.
All right, I'm going to keep going because we got a lot to cover. Hey girls, I need your help. This was my first relationship and I really tried my best. He wasn't always awful. That's what messes with my head the most. I'm going to stop you right there. The number one mistake that we can make when we're exiting a relationship is trying to get him to be the person he was in the beginning. He didn't always used to do this. He used to be so sweet. We used to. When you catch yourself saying, but in the beginning, or he used to, cut the cameras, it's over.
Yeah, give him the Academy Award. He was able to keep up the fake act for how many months, and now he's showing you exactly who he is.
My therapist says the mask falls after 3 months,
Yeah.
usually. 6 months if they're really good. But and also it's not just like, maybe it's not a mask, but men will always try to court you in the beginning, and there's always going to be a honeymoon phase where there's chemicals pumping through both of your brains that's creating this like facade of perfect love. I think maybe I'm being unfair by focusing on the bad.
No, you're not.
Maybe I brought things up too much.
No.
Maybe I could have fixed it.
No.
This breaks my heart because this is a monologue that goes through my head. No one in my family or friends thought that he was right for me. When I wanted to break up because he didn't give me the same effort I gave him, he told me he never felt enough for me financially or emotionally, and his ego was never satisfied in the relationship. Even though I never asked him for anything ever. He just thought he would in the future. We have said this on an episode with Violet. When you're dating a guy who feels that they're not good enough for you, it's never going to work. And if they're saying that, you need to believe
They will
them.
hate you for it.
They'll hate you for it. They'll hate you for it. I don't know why, but it's the truth. They become resentful because it's not your fault and you're not doing anything wrong, but they don't feel good enough when they're around you. They don't feel good around you. And so they have to date someone who's less than. I don't know.
It also doesn't seem like she's been with this guy for that long. And you just need to be so grateful that it ended this early versus like 5 years from now,
Oh my
he's
God,
finally showing you who he is. It's like, this is who he is. This is how he feels about you. He has no confidence in himself. And the thing I always do when I'm in a situation like this, because I've dated this guy a lot of times, is I go into my notes app, I write down every single time, not like annoying things or icks, but the times he made me feel horrible about myself. The times where I went home and questioned my own sanity. I questioned my own worth. I questioned, could I have done this better? Because even if you do mess up in a relationship, your partner is supposed to be like, hey, that wasn't cool. Let's work on that. We're on the same team. They're not going to hate you for messing up one time. That's not how it works. You didn't ruin it. You didn't ruin it.
No, you didn't bring things up too much.
No.
Maybe I am in the wrong. Maybe I did this too much. Maybe I had too high of standards for somebody that was just a good guy. You're going to drive yourself crazy with this is my fault and I over communicated or I did this or I did
Over
that.
communicating is a trauma response when you feel like you're not being seen.
Yeah.
When you feel like you're going to be abandoned. You think, if I could explain this more, if I could explain where I'm coming from. When you love somebody, you can look at them a certain way and tell them everything. when you really know somebody and they really see you, they can hold your hand a certain way and you know exactly how they feel. And I'm not saying have people read your mind. I'm just saying don't think you need to over-explain exactly why you are to try to get somebody to understand you better. He clearly doesn't care to understand you. He clearly doesn't want to put the time in to get it, because when somebody loves you, they will do whatever it takes to get you.
You can never say the wrong thing in the right relationship.
Never.
If you are feeling a certain way and you communicate that, that person will be receptive, you know, and you'll work through it. So
And I don't have the current example of my life with like a romantic relationship, because like I'm single. I'm just like kind of dating-ish, not even. There's like no intense emotions. But I felt like I was like going to one of my friends too much, or like talking about my feelings too much. And I just like apologized to her. I'm like, so sorry. She held my hands and she looked at me dead in the eyes and she goes, you never have to ask to be loved. You should never ask to be loved. You should never have to explain yourself to be loved. To be loved is just you being there. She goes, I choose to love you. I choose. I want to be around you. I want to be there for you because I love you. And you don't have to earn it from me. She's like, you're an amazing person. You have all these attributes. You're so good at this. You're so good at that. But like, I can't explain it. I just love you. And like, Alexi, don't ever ask for that. Don't ever prove it. Don't ever over communicate, because that's not what love is. And I don't like love referencing the Bible all the time. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast. It isn't proud. It isn't rude. It isn't self-seeking. It keeps no record of wrong. And like,
do a Bible verse?
I just quoted a Bible verse because that is what love is. You're not, when your mind is spiraling, you have to keep reminding yourself, like, that's not the love I fucking want in my life. I would rather literally never find another romantic love in my life, never be in another relationship, and find that love in myself and find that love in my friends, than ever be with a man that makes me question or makes me explain. Like, I just won't, I won't put my heart through that again.
May a man who is not sure of me
Never find me
again. There's also something to say for your friends and family all saying he's wrong for you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When we're in love, we have rose-colored glasses on, and they can be thick lenses.
Yeah.
We can't see the same things that our friends and family are seeing. And our friends and family, we don't have to ask them to love us. They just do.
Yeah.
And they see something that you don't see. And when it's the majority of them saying this isn't right for you, you may be in a state of delusion. And I say that from experience.
Me too.
I've been in so many relationships, and I think all of them, most of them, where my friends and family are like, Chloe, this isn't it. You need to let it go. And you have to process that yourself. It takes time.
It's also when your therapist is telling you and they're not supposed to give you an opinion. They're like, you need to leave this man.
Oh my God. They're like, I asked my therapist one day how many, I was like, if you could go into your client's body and operate them for just like a couple of days and fix their life, how many of your clients would you do that for? She said 2, and you're one of them. And it was about a relationship that I was in. She was like, I need you to leave this man. I would literally puppet you, and I'd fix it in a week. But there are only 2 of my clients that I would say this about, and the other one's in a physically abusive relationship. And that was a real wake-up call for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I have to leave this man. And I did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When other people around you are seeing something that you're not, that should give you validation and reassurance and help you kind of ground yourself and come back to the reality of what's actually in front of you.
And also, someone that's hurting you can also do nice things for you.
Oh, yeah.
Someone that is hurting you, someone that doesn't have good intentions, they know what they're doing. Somebody's screaming at you and hurting you and saying everything that could ever destroy you, and you've shown them the roadmap to your heart that then gets you flowers the next day. We had an episode about this. That's not love. That's manipulation.
No. And I just saw some fucking quote. It was on TikTok and it hit me. It was like something along the lines of, when you're going through something, the way that your partner reacts and treats you is greater than anything romantic they've ever done for you.
Yeah.
Like when there's actually real strife in life and you have to have someone who's going to grab your hand and walk you through it, that moment matters 1,000 times more than when they brought you flowers for no reason, or as an apology, or wrote you a sweet text, or whatever it is, you know?
Because that's real love.
Yeah, because that's
real life.
actual love. That's real life shit.
That's, you look at somebody and you're like, I love that person, whatever they need, whatever I can do.
And that kind of
However.
person is not going to make you feel like you brought things up too much.
No.
End of story. So
Because even if you are bringing things up too much, they'll look at you and they'll be like, you don't have to explain this to me.
you'll be
I
met
get
with
it.
reassurance. Exactly,
Completely.
Alexa. Yeah.
Completely.
All right. Well,
That was kind of just for us. So thanks for asking.
I just realized there was another half to that story. He also was like fucking around with other girls.
Oh, nope. Pass.
We said what we needed to say before we even knew the rest of the shit. Okay. How do I let go of someone who once made me feel chosen, even if it was only for a moment? That's so beautiful. And I hope we answered that. And we all feel that way, girl. I would love, can we bring like an 80-year-old woman in here? Does it ever end?
Does it ever end? No, I'm like, this is something that recently, I'm working with a new therapist now. And I feel like all of these old things have kind of come back in. And I had this moment of really realizing that I think somebody that has seen me the most in my life left very abruptly and very, very quickly. It is so hard when you understand that someone gets you and they choose to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing a lot of research about like what are the most painful feelings in the entire world. And abandonment, grief, the other impossible emotions to process all happen when someone leaves so briefly, especially somebody that you feel like it's like so hard to feel understood as a person, especially as a complex person. And if you're somebody that's writing into a podcast like ours, you're a complex person with a really, really vulnerable heart. And it is so hard to move on from having shown that vulnerability to somebody, them saying like, I get it, and then deciding to leave. But you have to know that is them. Some people do change. It's very rare. I've seen it happen maybe 1 or 2 times. I wouldn't count on it.
It takes years for people to really change too.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly came in here and talked about her relationship with her boyfriend and was like, you know, he wanted that more than anything. And people can come back and say things. Like, talk is really cheap. Brief moments of time of like wanting something back, something that was good back. It's like, it's easy, but make sure this is someone that's going to stay. Cool, you're saying all these things, but like show me and protect yourself through that. You don't need to give this person the roadmap of what your heart looks like now. You don't need to share everything. You can take your time.
Yeah. And all of the love that you're trying to give to somebody else is the roadmap back to yourself.
Completely.
Hi, guys. Love your podcast. I look forward to them every week. Yay. Okay, here's a crazy story about how the butterfly effect is crazy work.
My favorite.
Love the butterfly effect. I would love to do an episode on that when we're in Paris. Okay. My best friend and I were friends for 3 years, and then we ended up moving together and getting our first apartment. She was my best friend in the whole world, but the longer we lived together, we started to grow apart in a way. She had boyfriends on and off over the years, but I had been single for 6 years, still healing from a bad relationship. I met this guy and we had an instant connection. From day one, she didn't like him. She had never met him or knew anything about him. Okay. She made a comment about how he looked like her friend with benefits, but he didn't. That began the longest year of my life of her causing problems in my relationship and in our friendship. I ended up telling her months in advance I was looking for my own place because anything I communicated with her was not going anywhere, and we stopped talking, for the last 6 months of us living together. She gave me a 2-week notice that she was moving out and was going to leave me with rent that she knew I couldn't afford. I found a place to move into in 2 weeks. We both moved out and we didn't speak. My boyfriend and I ended up breaking up over me mourning my best friend. And us having other issues. They've both tried coming back into my life, but my healing has taught me not to go back. This ended up being the worst/best thing that ever happened to me. I had to face my fears and be alone, and I've healed so much, and now I no longer accept subpar behavior from friends or for relationships. I am now the person I always wanted to be, and that pain pushed me there. I just thought it was a good butterfly effect story, and it does get better than you could ever imagine. That's like a little great commentary on what we were just talking about.
It's really sweet. It's like when you feel like all these little pieces of your life don't make sense, you realize, I feel like you get this moment of like a download where one day you're just like by yourself in your house, you look around everything and you're like, holy shit, this was the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, holy shit, like who am I? Like it was probably when I first moved to New York and like all this crazy shit happened. I remember I had this moment, I'd gotten off the phone with somebody basically saying that like we're gonna move forward with this thing that I thought would never happen. And spending time with these new friends that made me feel so seen. And I just had this moment of like, I live in New York City.
And it all happened because you were willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable place.
Totally.
Like the pain of losing your best friend that you had a weird falling out with, then your boyfriend, and having to sit alone in your new place is heavy. That's not light. Like that actually really sucks a lot. But then at the end of it, you're like, actually, I no longer tolerate shitty behavior. Mm-hmm. I'm who I wanted to be, and I'm way happier than before.
And I'm in my own place that I live in by myself.
Sometimes things have to fall apart to fall together. The cost of admission for your new life is going to be your old life. It has to be. You can't have both at once.
And you don't want both at once.
You don't want both at once.
Your past life sucked. It sucked, but it's the only reference point that you had. You didn't even know that life could get better.
It's a really good message for all of us who are afraid of the unknown or who really love the comfort of where we're at now, even though it's actually not that comfortable.
One day you're going to love the unknown because the only thing in life truly, like security is a fallacy. There's no such thing as actually like having security or having safety. If you can literally be comfortable,
Sick.
it's true. But if you can be comfortable with knowing that you are never going to be actually safe somewhere and that the unknown will just bring you somewhere more interesting or somewhere better, like you trust in yourself that you can keep yourself safe through the unknown versus trying to secure yourself to something.
Yeah, you do learn how to trust yourself.
You'll always
that you
land
can
on
get
your
yourself
feet.
through anything. Yeah. Okay, last one. That was cute. Thank you for sharing.
I love you.
I've been in a situationship with a man. Horrible start.
Horrible start. We hate a situationship. It's the worst.
For over a year.
Nope. Situationships are 2 months max.
He's an avoidant.
Nope. Run for the hills. The hills are alive with the sound of avoidance. The hills are alive with the sound of avoidant men.
And I'm an anxious attachment.
No.
Thank you for teaching me about these, by the way.
Love you.
And he never fights for me ever. Girl, every new part of the sentence that I'm reading is upsetting me. I'll never believe that he loves me and that he can't, quote, chase me because this is reality and not a fairy tale. However, every time I break down and break the no contact, he always answers and is so sweet and loving. And we start again and then he does something else.
Of course he does.
Why can't I let him go? He gives me almost everything I've wanted, but goes silent and ghosts and is even mean when we argue. I'm divorced for over 2 years and I never felt loved in my marriage. I guess I'm just confused on why I keep falling for guys who can't give me the fairy tale and if you guys have ever felt that way.
Yes, I've felt this way so many times. I've been through this so many times. And also, you think he's giving you everything you've ever wanted because you've only ever been fed with breadcrumbs or you haven't been fed at all. Like he's giving her everything she wants when she has to ask for it, when she has to pick up the phone.
Or when it's convenient for him.
Completely.
I don't think that's everything you've ever wanted.
Is
that
cool?
everything
He
you've
picks
ever
up the
wanted?
phone and he's nice to you?
That's the bare minimum.
I even think I'm somebody that's like pretty healed and like confident in myself and like I fall for this shit all the time.
I think it's exactly what you said. It's you're used to getting nothing. So getting some stuff feels really good. But we have to break the cycle. You're in a cycle. You're saying you know that when you first talk to him again, he's sweet until he does something.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a place that you want to be in.
Do you want to be there for the rest of your life?
You got divorced. You've already been through that. The next love that you deserve is a real one, a fulfilling one, a full one, a 360 love.
Dude, I just want to hug her. Because I can't imagine what it would feel like to get divorced in a marriage where you've never felt loved in the entire marriage.
It's awful.
Like that is literally like that. That's probably the most painful thing in the entire world is like the one person that's supposed to just love you as close to unconditionally as a person is meant to. You never felt that. And so now you're with this guy that there's moments that even feel good, but he's unkind to you and he doesn't consider your, like, this is a situationship. This isn't a relationship. This is somebody that, you know, has access to you when they need it.
Yeah. If I were you and I was in your position, I would use my divorce and how shitty I felt in my marriage to fuel me to never wind up in that position again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy. That's not like a simple thing like, okay, I don't want to do it again because your heart hurts and you're wanting to be loved and feel loved. So you're settling. But just remind yourself next time you want to break no contact, do you want to feel the way that you felt in your marriage again? No. You want to feel loved. You want to feel adored. You should feel loved and adored. I would start going out of my way to go for guys that maybe feel a little boring, right? Because sometimes we get in this mindset, and my therapist calls it a scotoma, where it's like it's a cycle, basically, and you go after what's familiar. Mm-hmm. Like maybe the way that you're being treated feels a little familiar in a way that you're not really cognizant of, but it's comfortable, it's what you know. When really what you deserve is a guy who is calling you just to ask how your day is, who's coming by to bring you your favorite sweet treat, who's taking you out, who's showing you off, who's committing to you because he wants to be with you, no doubt in his head, not who's leading you through a year long of like, what are we?
Also because that's what she wants to do for somebody. Like even the way that she worded the message is like, you can tell that this is somebody that has so much love in them.
Yeah.
You can tell that this is like an empathetic person, special, and like also still believes in love. After a divorce, still being open to somebody.
Which is really powerful.
Completely. I don't know you. All I know is this like one little message. But like I can already see so much love in you. And I don't want you to think for a second because back-to-back 2 men weren't what you deserved, that it has any reflection on your worth or your just capacity to love somebody. It's just like there's wounds that need to be healed before you really understand. I didn't even understand what love looked like till probably like last year. Like genuinely. I didn't even know what like I didn't know what real love looked like. And like now I do. And now I know like right off the bat, like there's red flags and there's whatever, and I can like learn to walk away from them, which is also something, because first you learn how to identify them, and then you have some time where you're like, that's a red flag, but like red flags, like I kind of love them. And I don't know, I can tell that this is going to be a healing journey for you, but you want love. You are love. It's going to happen. You just need to heal those core wounds. And I say that to you as I say it to myself. You're not alone in this. Yeah. You have these girls sitting on this couch backing you up. You have all the girls that are listening to this back you up. We have all been here. And the one thing about heartbreak and the one thing about these feelings is that when it's happening to you, it feels so unique, feels so isolating. You think like, oh my God, no one else could ever feel this way. I promise you, almost every other person has. Almost every other person has been in a relationship that makes them feel worthless. Almost every person has been in a relationship that makes them feel like they're not loved. It doesn't make that person any less whole. It doesn't make them any less worthy of being loved. It's just going to be healing core wounds and picking the right people next time.
This might sound harsh, and I'm saying it because I feel it, but dating multiple guys who are bad to you in a row is not a reflection of your self-worth, but it is a reflection of your self-love.
And the common denominator, unfortunately, is you.
And you're going to have to look really deep at some stuff that you probably don't want to look at to figure out why that's happening, and do the work to stop finding yourself in this position. I'm going to cry, so we're going to go next.
I can wrap this one up then. I love you. This is something, again, we all go through this and it's real, and I can start crying. I'm going to start crying now too.
Great, now we're crying.
If you can really value learning how to put yourself in situations where you're going to be loved and that you've healed those wounds, and you also won't carry that pain into the next relationship because that person probably doesn't deserve it.
That too. It's a big one.
I would just say that this work is going to be the most painful, boring, annoying, most uncomfortable thing you're going to do in your life, but it's worth it. And the work never stops. The work never stops. Yeah. You think that like you've been through enough therapy or you've recovered from that, like the work never stops.
I think a huge part of the work is like learning how to heal your attachment style to becoming secure, which takes so much effort and consistency, but that's essentially what that is.
Yeah.
Like when you find yourself in a position where it's easy and it feels right, you're not wondering where they are, where they're going to text you back, or what's going to happen next, or if they still like you. Yeah. Not only have you healed and made yourself secure, but you're also probably seeking out secure partners, because anxious people seek out avoidance, and avoidance seek out anxious. Yeah.
I used to also feel so much shame in like my avoidant, disorganized attachment style. The person that you find isn't going to be freaked out by your attachment style.
No. All of you guys also remember this. You are so strong for going through whatever it is that you've been through and remaining soft. Like that is the coolest, most beautiful, defiant thing that you can do in a world that just consistently sends you hard shit your way.
Yeah.
You know?
I've chosen myself, and I've chosen to love more versus shutting myself out.
Shutting down, yeah.
Yeah. Well, shutting myself out of love, because the world inherently is full of it. And it's always going to find you if you stay open to it.
Sweetie, cute episode this is.
Anyway, we didn't mean for it to go here, but thank you guys so much for watching.
I did not think I was going to cry, but okay.
I cry on the internet all the time. I said I wasn't going to do it anymore, and then I did it on the streets of Soho and just bled everywhere. I don't need like a Kotex brand deal. That'd be great. But like my heart just was on the streets
brand deal.
Soho.
The next episode is presented to you by Okay.
I actually would love to work with the tampon brand. Hit us up.
I only want the organic ones because there's bleach in those motherfuckers. That's a topic for another day. I want to do a whole women's health episode where we just talk about like how fucked up everything is that revolves around women's health. But anyway.
I digress. If you guys enjoyed watching this episode, rate us 5 stars. And if you'd like to submit a question for our next Q&A, you can send it over to...
The link is in our bio. So you can DM us, but if it's longer form, definitely click on the link in our bio. It says like submit to Q&A. You can fill out your story. Oh yeah, we've gotten voice notes before. Love that. And then also in the form, you're allowed to upload images. So if there's like screenshots or like
oh, fuck crazy. Yeah, send those.
Yeah, you'll always be anonymous. So
don't worry. We'll black out everyone's name.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.